Good morning, Magic Family. Welcome back. This is our February 18th edition of our Daily Energy. I hope all of you are doing well. Give me 1 second. I'm going to flip this other light on really quick. All right. Now you can actually see the cards. Good morning, husband. Welcome back as always. All right, so today we're just going to do a blind pull out of the Conversations with God Divine Wisdom deck by Neil Donald Walsh. And we're going to be discussing, well, our emotional black holes. And, well, when we find ourselves stuck there, how the fuck do we climb back out without dragging everybody else down with us? So this is the question that we're going to bring to Source today. And Source is going to give us, well, a little pep talk and maybe some direction for the day. So what I mean by blind pull is I'm just going to be pulling cards out of the deck as we're talking. So let's see what our first cards are. We get this one. It says the spirit of you seeks in the largest sense that grand moment when you have conscious awareness of its wishes and join in joyful oneness with them. But the spirit will never ever force its desire on the present conscious physical part of you, right? This is something that we need to remember when we're sitting here bemoaning our fate and trying to get the universe to take our garbage away for us. First, we have to take the trash out to the street. Then the universe can deal with it. Because the universe's message to us says, go ahead and do what you really love to do and do nothing else. You have so little time. How can you think of wasting a moment doing something for a living you don't like to do? What kind of a living is that? The answer to that is not a living. That is a dying. So we come into this earth plane under the mistaken assumption, because society and our parents and everyone tells us differently once we're here. But ultimately, our only goal is to come here, experience what we know, and be happy. That's it. But our usual overthinking human brain has to complicate it and say it cannot be that simple. But it is that simple. So, what is our next reminder from Source on this subject? Oh, this is a good one. So, Source says, I am not concerned about your worldly success. Only you are. It is true that when you achieve a certain state of being over a long period of time, success in what you're doing in the world is very difficult to avoid. Yet, you are not to worry about making a living. The true masters are those who have chosen to make a life rather than a living, right? So, by choosing to do the things that we love and choosing not to get stuck into the conformity of societal expectations about what we should do, graduate high school, get married, have a family, acquire a bunch of student loan debt, buy a house that you can't afford on credit, and then we all wonder why we end up, in our 50s to our eyeballs in debt and unhappy. It's because we forgot to follow that one golden rule. We're supposed to be having a life, not making a living, right? So how can we get closer to that? And the answer says, in the true order of things, one does not do something in order to be happy. One is happy and hence does something. One does not do some things in order to be compassionate. One is compassionate and hence acts in a certain way. So the soul's decision precedes the body's action in a highly conscious person, right? So we all know by going through this process together and going through the Conversations with God books as well that, well, Neil believes, and a lot of people believe, that our only job is to be happy. And you do not get something in order to be happy, because if you're using things to make yourself happy, well, you're never going to be able to hang on to that happiness feeling, because things are fleeting and impermanent, right? Things are always changing. So if you get sucked into the fact that only these things are going to make me happy, well, you're always going to be unhappy. So how do we wrap our heads around that one? It says, you must first see yourself as worthy before you can see another as worthy. And you must first see yourself as blessed before you can see another as blessed. You must first know yourself to be holy before you can acknowledge holiness in another, right? So this is about us being able to experience who and what we are and what we know. And that's the whole point of what this is. So if we can keep our heads wrapped around the fact that we're here to experience what we know, and what we focus on grows, well, then we can take responsibility for, well, whatever it is that we're growing in our own personal spiritual garden, right? So are you watering the weeds that other people have thrown their seeds in? Or have you plucked every single one of those fuckers out and replanted it with what you like? There is the question, right? Are you just catching the seeds that everybody else is throwing around and just accepting them as your own? Or are you tilling the ground, doing the work, and replanting it on your own? And then, well, making sure nobody else's seeds stick in your garden. Because ultimately, that really is what we're supposed to be doing here, right? So let's get another card. So, the ultimate question, are you going to be in a place called fear or in a place called love? Where are you? And where are you coming from as you encounter your life every day? Hello, Fox Mama. We're sending good vibes back. And to go with it, it says, all people are special and all moments are golden. There is no person and there is no time one more special than another. So if you're worried about worthiness issues or things like that, well, that's where you need to start. You start by reminding yourself that everything is always working out for you. And all your wants and needs are met above and beyond your greatest expectation, always, in all ways. And chant it to yourself over and over and over again until you believe it. And then watch how your world changes. Just make it the first 5 things you say to yourself every day. And then, if you start getting derailed, say it again. All right. Our closing message is 4 cards. And it says, your life is always a result of your thoughts about it, including your obviously creative thought that you seldom get what you choose. Hence the black hole. Don't get sucked in it. But in reality, your soul doesn't care what you do for a living. And when your life is over, neither will you. Your soul cares only about what you're being while you're doing whatever you're doing. So, remember that the process of creation starts with thought. an idea, conception, visualization. And everything you see was once someone's idea. Nothing exists in your world that did not first exist as pure thought. So what are you thinking? So I remind you this. If you're God's equal, that means nothing is being done to you and all things are created by you. There can be no more victims and no more villains. Only outcomes of your thought about a thing. And I tell you this, all you see in your world is the outcome of your idea about it. So if you don't like what you're seeing, take responsibility and realize that you can change it at any time simply by changing your thought about it. So if shit looks like it's getting deep, put your boots on, find your glasses, and then look again. And you may realize it's not shit at all, but just a little mud. And we all know it's real easy to wash off a little bit of mud, right? We've all made it through it so far, and I have full belief we will continue to do so. So, keep sticking together, my friends. Be good. Be good to yourselves. And keep being good to each other. It's working, and the world is a better place with you in it. Thank you for showing up for me. And I'll be back again tomorrow to show up for you. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, everybody.